What's going on, Internet and Mark Army? We're here. We're live. We got a cool bunch of little things around here, but more importantly, we have Billy. Billy. I'm the
Billy
Icon
Peck.
G here with Chava the Hero, and obviously Billy Peck here with us here today. Man, long time coming. Love that you're here. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to get us in here today. But remember, guys, if you don't like, if you don't comment, if you don't subscribe, if you don't leave, get that notification bell. I hear there's a cool bell that you can like bing, that you can get yourself notified when Mark Goodness drops. And make sure you get in on that, because that way we can get more amazing people like Billy on the show here with us. So, yeah, how are you doing today, Billy?
I'm doing great. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Love it, man. Love it, man. And like I said, long time coming.
Yep.
We first started actually getting into the local wrestling scene by going to PWP, and that's kind of thing when we formally met you.
Yeah.
And man, just it's been a blast just being around the wrestling scene in general, and seeing you as a announcer, man. I mean, you got a distinguished voice. Let me tell you, like,
Thank you.
You can definitely tell, like, oh, Billy's on. Billy's announcing tonight, guys.
Okay.
So I guess how let's talk about it a little bit. How did you kind of get into announcing?
So, I suppose to step back a little prior to announcing, I've been a musician for 25, 26 years, something like that. So I've been a stage performer for a long time, and the owner of PWP, Chris Havius, he would come out to concerts I was playing. I would go out to wrestling shows that they had going on, and we eventually just met, became friends. Something was going on with their ring announcer, and they asked if I would be interested in doing it. I think they wanted something a little different, a little outside of the box. I think having, the music background, being a performer, but like of a different kind of thing, I think I bring a slightly different maybe edge to it, a different attitude to it. So,
I agree with that. Like, especially with the like your voice, your tonality, like it's different from like other ring announcers. Like it's so, I don't want to say it is edgy. Like I do hear like the punk rock out of it.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, naturally, like as a singer, I have a little bit more of a raspy voice, and I try to put a little attitude in my vocals. So I kind of, without overdoing it, hopefully, that's kind of what I try to incorporate into ring announcing.
Cool. Love it, man. So we're talking about your music background. You have it's a horror punk band named
Yes.
Graveyard Smash.
Yes.
You want to talk about how that kind of all came together, like how you met the band and how this
Yeah.
became Graveyard Smash?
Yeah. So that's just, it's one of those things, you play shows around town for however many years, you become friends with other people in bands, and at some point, one of the guitarists, Brandon Voorhees, he asked, like, hey, would you be interested in putting together this horror punk band, kind of, influenced by the Misfits and things of that nature. Misfits for, a little WCW wrestling connection. Yeah, and so we put it together, and we were 5 guys that all came from just different bands around town, and there's Graveyard Smash.
Heck yeah, dude. Nice. Heck yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. And how long have you guys been a band, I guess, till now?
I want to say, gosh, it's probably been about 8 years.
Awesome. Congrats, man.
Yeah,
that's
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
If I remember correctly, you guys played after a PWP show.
Yeah, we did. It was a WrestleVania, which, by the way, I don't know when this is coming out, but October 10th, if it comes out. If not, we do have patreon.com/PWP Live where you can go back and watch it. And you can watch Graveyard Smash performance at WrestleVania where, we played a couple wrestlers to the ring. We were playing a Misfits song. It was Brandon Juarez, Con Artiste, and Purple were a 3-man tag. And they all had kind of Misfits or corpse paint.
Oh, cool.
And we played them out to the ring, but we played during intermission as well. And that was actually like a lot of fun, being like a lifelong wrestling fan. And this is before I started ring announcing.
Whoa.
And so it was really fun to like perform inside the wrestling ring as, you know, a band. So it was a lot of fun.
So I have a. I really wanted to go to that show. Didn't have the opportunity to go, but one of the reasons I was looking forward to it was I didn't really I built a lot of my music taste from wrestling, and when I started watching in '07, and one of the first memories was Ozzy Osbourne performing at Judgment Day, I want to say.
Yeah,
It was
sounds
sometime that year. I can't remember exactly when. And then that was like kind of my first encounter to Ozzy Osbourne, then finding about Black Sabbath. So
I mean, big influence
Yeah.
on what we do, what I do. So yeah.
So I just being able to like I had the opportunity. Unfortunately, I missed it. But I know next time if that ever happens again, I'm gonna be there.
Well, maybe one day it'll happen. I don't know. It'd be cool. I'd
Yeah.
do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, Marks are asking.
There you go.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly. That'd be awesome. So I guess we'll talk about it here a little bit because we always ask this question when we do an interview with anybody. What is your memory in wrestling? What is the thing you saw that just hit you and you're like, I want to do something with that, or that's really interesting. Like I need to look more into this.
I mean, I guess, the very first thing I ever saw, I was at my neighbor's house and they were watching WrestleMania 10. I wasn't really paying attention to it. I was like hanging out with the younger brother, and just a certain match came up, and the older brother said something like, "Oh, this match is gonna suck. It's two bad guys against each other." It was the bad guy, Razor Ramon, versus Shawn Michaels in that ladder match.
He ate those words so quickly.
And but something about the two bad guy thing kind of like perked me up, and I'm like, what is? Oh, and so I started paying attention, and I watched this glorious match. Instantly became a fan of wrestling, and I'm sure just like probably any of us, had the dream to become a wrestler. Some even end up getting into it. So I did train like a little bit back in maybe like '05 or so, but I knew like the dedication that it really took, and I was like so dedicated to music and like trying to make it as a musician that I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't try to do both and focused on music. But it was that. Became a huge fan, Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler. Just always stayed, connected to it, following the local wrestling scene. And then, just through happenstance, kind of became part of it.
Yeah. It's interesting how like you can be around it for so long. Eventually, they're gonna get you in there somehow,
Right?
One way or another, they're getting you in there.
And I did see, skipping ahead, you do have 2 matches under your belt. Is that right?
Yes.
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 So Battle of the Phoenix, and then a 4v4.
Yes, like a Survivor Series style match.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I guess so. That's kind of around the time we started going to PWP and everything. So, I know we missed it, but I guess what led into for that 4v4 match? Because I know, trying to remember like the competitors I saw, but I think Donnie was a part of it. Maybe
no, he wasn't.
Okay, maybe that was something else then. But I saw, or Joey Daniels.
Yes.
Joey Daniels was part of it. But yeah, what led into that matchup?
I mean, so that one specifically.
Yeah.
So that was the second one. So to go back, for a little bit more of the context, here's the breaking kayfabe thing.
Pulling the curtain, guys. We're pulling the curtain.
So, being a ring announcer, Brett Bishop had just won the PWP championship, and he had the manager, Manfred Zablinski. And as I was like interviewing them backstage or whatever, they were the heels. They were always, picking on me, treating me poorly, whatever. Once he won that championship, I didn't like very enthusiastically say his name as the winner. So he brought me back out, that whole thing, attacks me. And I'm out for a couple events because I was injured, but really it was because I had work to do for the Major Wrestling Figure podcast out of town.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't going to be at the next couple events. So by the time this Survivor Series match comes to be, Brett isn't really like with the company anymore, but Manfred Zablinski is. And he is managing... he was managing Angus Kaiser.
Oh, okay.
And so I was interviewing Joey Daniels in a backstage, and he had just had a match with his brother Paul Daniels. They split, all of this stuff happened, and I was interviewing him about that, and he started picking on me. Well, Omar Pacheco was also in the background, and he started, saying things to me because he always had a problem with how I wrongly announced his name, which I never did. It was always correct. And then Manfred comes in with Angus Kaiser, and they're just all like right there.
Oh, jeez.
Just all, berating.
Yeah, bombarded.
Yes. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And here comes the Powers platoon. Pat Powers, Moonshine Russell, Jack Darling.
Right.
And they're like, you're not gonna pick on our battle buddy here. And so we did this whole like training regimen thing, and became part of their team. So it was me with them, and then Manfred was with the other three.
Gotcha.
And through their deeds, they took out Jack and Moonshine, and it was like their whole team against just Pat and I. Luckily, Pat was able to eliminate everybody, but Manfred was the last one left. I get the tag, and I win the whole thing.
There you go.
So
hand raised.
there you go. That's the story of that one.
But let's go ahead and get into a little bit here about the Major Wrestling. What was it? The Major Wrestling Order, the MWO podcast that you have.
Sure. So the Major World Order.
Yeah, the Major World Order. Thank you.
Yes. So the Major Wrestling Figure podcast is a podcast by Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, and Smart Mark Sterling. They have an excellent community of fans, and I mean, truly a community, and a lot of interesting people within it that they would talk about on the show. And me and two other guys, Husvar and Jake Wyatt, we became friends. I live here. One lives in Florida. One lives in Connecticut. It's just people all over the world. And so we became friends, and we were just talking, and I've also been podcasting for a lot of years as well. And so I was just like, hey, what do you guys think about having, starting a podcast to kind of be like a companion piece to theirs, and where, the community is so strong. And again, all these, I don't want to say characters, but there are personalities within this community, and it's like we could interview these people, get their stories out there, talk about whatever it is they collect, what got them into wrestling, similar kind of vibes.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Just getting to know people and learn about them, and it at least for that community, it took off very well, and we've been going for this November will be 5 years that we've done it literally every single week.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Big accomplishment.
But to say we're no stranger to that hustle bustle, because we were going on close to 3, and man, dude, there's the trials and tribulations for sure, and you guys going on 5, I'm just like, wow, okay. So thank you, I appreciate it. That's awesome. We might have to exchange notes or something later.
Sure.
Just kind of go over a little bit. But I guess, because this was right before the pandemic, where I think you were approached to help directly with the major pros.
Yeah, so
I think it was right before the pandemic.
it was during the pandemic.
Okay.
I'm bad with years and time and all that.
Sure.
But it was around pandemic time that like things really took off for the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. Because if you think about it, they had the podcast going before that, but then Matt and Brian got fired from WWE, and so all of their focus went into this podcast, this community, and so when we started up our stuff, it just became a thing of they saw the work that I was putting into things, and if they needed just little help with odds and ends, editing some audio for them, some music, video, whatever, one of them would reach out and be like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And yeah. So it was just, like I said, just little things. Sometimes they'd be like, cool, thanks. Sometimes they'd be like, hey, we'll send you, some of our figures, or here's some money, or, whatever. It was just kind of little, again, just whatevers. But I think, I earned their trust and put in a lot of hard work for them. And just over the years, they continued to ask for just different projects. And then, it became, so you want to work for us essentially full time.
Dang, that's cool.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That is freaking awesome.
I'm a huge mark for Matt Cardona.
Yeah,
I always have been.
This guy
Same.
is.
Yeah, I just always have been. Like when we were kids, like I'd always talk about how he had the potential to be like as big, if not bigger, than John Cena, and like arguably he is at the moment with like the whole indie god.
Sure, I mean, there are differences, of course. John Cena is as global as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He can't even walk anywhere without being bombarded.
Right.
But Matt was on. It's one of those things. Watching as a fan back then, and for anyone that is like a fan or was really paying attention to Zack Ryder at that time, 2011-ish time frame, The Rock came back at Madison Square Garden. It's a famous clip. He's talking and everybody's chanting, we want Ryder, and he listens and he's like, yeah, I love that guy, woo woo woo, and all that,
Puts him over.
So like he had the biggest, merchandise sales of that time along Cena and CM Punk, and we're talking like huge stars, and he was up there too. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I was a big fan, and it was cool to see all that happening. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Awesome. So, let's talk to us, because you brought one of your figures. They made a figure out of you.
Yes.
What can you tell us about this figure, this micro brawler that they made out of you here?
So, it's a micro brawler.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Tees. I imagine you guys are aware of them.
Yeah.
For a long time, they've been the outlet to give wrestlers, independent wrestlers, the opportunity to get shirts made and have it listed online. And, you can go to, these people's Pro Wrestling Tees stores and, and instead of the wrestler having to pay hundreds of dollars to get shirts made and have them at their shows or whatever, you could always just direct someone to your link and boom, like they'll print the shirt and all of that. So, Pro Wrestling Tees has grown quite a bit over the years, and they started making their own, little tchotchke figures. And just a number of months back, they opened it up to, if you were a independent talent, you can get it made.
wow.
And so I was one of the few who did it. There's it's very possible that there's more people who did it and like they just haven't come out yet or they haven't really announced it. But like being involved, very heavily involved in the figure community, so far there's been like maybe like 5, 6 people ish that are like out there and known. But like one of them is like Chris Van Vliet.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
nothing against that. Like I'm a huge fan of him, but he's also like mega star in this
In
world.
this realm,
yeah.
100%.
And he does this for a living. So like again, not taking anything away from it, he could get that made like no problem. But someone like me, someone like us, it's like it was a little more difficult. And just basically I took the chance on myself between the major wrestling figure podcast community, doing the shows here in town between PWP Live and Next Level Wrestling. I thought, hey, I might be able to sell some of these. And the cool thing is so like, you guys can see if you didn't see it already. The microphone has
The PWP.
It has the PWP Live logo on
Official,
it.
baby.
But I had a chase version of them. I had 500 total made. 100 of them had the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast logo on it for when I do hosting of their live shows. And that sold out in less than a week.
Wow.
So was very happy about that. But that's kind of the story of getting these made.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's incredible. You took a chance on yourself, and we're here. We're talking about it. I love figures. I just can't buy new ones because my daughter gets to them, and so it's the struggle. That's why a lot of the memorabilia stays here. That was mine
For that same reason. Were you always a figure guy? Like, were you always into figures as well?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I got into the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. One, being just a fan of Matt and Brian to begin with, because I watched their debut, like I said, all the Zack Ryder stuff, and Matt had put out a tweet saying like, who would listen to a wrestling figure podcast? And I'm like, oh, now that's because like I was always like as a kid loved toys.
Oh yeah.
I had that little break like probably a lot of us do where you're like, okay, I don't watch wrestling anymore. I don't play with toys.
Supposedly you grew out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was more so like I felt like I had to, but I always kind of secretly like paid attention. But no, I started like, I got a girlfriend that was like long term, so it's like, okay, I don't have to like worry about like impressing girls anymore. I have one now, so like I started kind of slowly collecting again, and yeah, now I have thousands of figures.
Anything on the radar right now that you're looking out for that you're like, oh, I need to grab this, like anything like that, like just jumps out at you?
I suppose. I mean, like, I can't say I have like a ton of like Holy Grail things, maybe a few, but like right now something new that just started popping up is the new WWE like Legend series, and the whole line is it's the Click.
Yeah.
It's the curtain call.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, you can get Shawn, Razor, Triple H, and Nat or Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, like their hair's all messed up and stuff, and they're in that same gear, and it's supposed to represent like when they're hugging at the end for the curtain call. So like,
That's cool.
I really want to get that set.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, right on.
Is there like a specific like toy line or anything? Like me, I'm a big Funko guy. So like
Okay.
I like Pop Funkos. I recently had to sell my collection, but I've had a ton of them of all like variety,
Sure.
like different things. So anything like that, or like specifically into like wrestling action figures or anything like that.
I mean, I kind of the way that I collect, it's not so much always like a style, so for those watching, like these are the Mattels, these are all Mattels, these are the Funko Pops. Yeah, everybody knows what a Funko is.
Yeah.
But like, these are elites. WWE puts out the superstars, and they're like the big like He-Man muscly guys.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different they're called form factors. I don't really like grab. I guess I sort of do, but the way I collect more is like specific people. Who
Gotcha.
like what person do I collect? And then I don't really care what the style is. I just collect that person.
Gotcha.
But if I had to pick a line that like I really am fond of, and it sounds like a shill thing, but really it's not. It's Major Bendy's
Okay.
from Matt and Brian.
yes.
They have their own figure company called Major. And so the Bendys. So for my generation, like before my generation, it was Hasbro's and LJN and stuff like that. For my generation, I was born in '85. I started watching in '95. Like a year or so later, Bone Crunchers came out.
Yes.
So that was my main wrestling figure line, and the other thing was Bendums, and they were just smaller, like not articulated, but bendable figures.
Oh, I think I know which one.
Yeah, you stretch them and you kind of pose them a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of like
okay.
that
Yep.
plastic, that rubbery plastic. Yeah, I love
And
those
so
things.
they recreated those as Major Bendies.
Got it.
And I love those. So that would be like, if I had to pick a favorite line, I really enjoy that because it's continuing the line basically, and it's from people that I admire.
Gotcha.
Heck yeah.
So, with that being said, when it comes to WWE action figures specifically, do you have a preference between Mattel or Jakks?
Jakks or Mattel.
Yeah.
Because
I know this is a controversial thing when it comes to action figures. I know what your favorite is.
oh yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Jakks did a lot.
yeah.
So they started with the Bone Crunchers.
Yep.
So nostalgia makes me go like, oh, well, I really like those first Bone Crunchers. But if we're talking like once they became like what figures are, like the more like these are highly articulated. Jakks did that with like their ruthless aggression and deluxe aggression, especially,
man.
and classic superstars and stuff. So I got to go Mattel. And here's why. If you look at the ruthless aggression versus the deluxe aggression, they're different scales. The deluxe aggressions are like an inch taller.
Yeah.
And the scales are like so far off from each other that like, I mean, I guess if you're a little kid, maybe you don't care.
Right.
But like, as like an adult collector looking at it, Mattel, now, not that they don't have their problems or whatever, they're all in the same scale. And now that AEW has Jazzwares making their figures, they model their stuff off of these. Like, it is like kind of the end-all, be-all, go-to wrestling form factor.
Got a point
Cool.
there. You've nailed it. I mean, like I'll look at the elites too, and they're like you said, like they feel like they're proportioned. Like it's modeled after an actual human being. Whereas you get the other ones, it looks like it's like a giant.
Yeah.
Right, and like I said, these are elites.
Yeah.
They have started making ultimates, which are even more articulated. They have the main event line, which is basic, so less articulated but cheaper, for kids or whatever. But still, they're all in the same scale. They didn't change any of that stuff. Jakks did, and they did it a lot.
Wow.
It's true.
Cool. Well, that was the figure portion where we nerd out about toys. I mean, it's still probably gonna continue, but that was the big portion of it. But man, I want to get back into music.
Okay.
And so what we talked about a little bit of the band. Of course, like I'm not too familiar with the band. I need to listen to it because I like the genre of music you guys play.
Sure. So
So what do you do in the band? Do you sing? Do you play an instrument? Do you do a little bit of everything?
So in Graveyard Smash, I am the bassist and vocalist, and I don't mean to bring the room down, but unfortunately, our vocalist, he committed suicide. So instead of trying to find someone, we really just liked the vibe we had as us. So I just moved over to vocals. So bass and lead vocals.
How is it for you, like kind of trying to juggle both, I guess. So
I mean, sometimes it can be a little challenging, but I don't know. I've been doing it for so long that it's not the worst thing. Sometimes it's just like, you rehearse a lot and you figure out like, the patterns that you're playing musically and trying to, get your vocals out without, like if you're, I don't know, this is just weird music talk, but like if you're singing in a certain time and you're playing in a kind of a different time, I don't know, you got to figure out how to separate it. And
right.
I don't have the worst time doing that.
And I know part of it, like instrument wise, is muscle memory. Like you build that muscle memory, so you just kind of go, and then everything else you just kind of go from it. He was a drummer.
Yeah, we were both in marching band in high school, so when you say like kind of essentially rubbing your tummy and patting your head at the same time, you kind of learn to kind of figure that out as you go.
Yep.
Repetition's key, man.
Yep, exactly.
Repetition is key.
I did play saxophone, played upright bass, and then sang in choir. So I kind of have the gambit of most things. So, so you mentioned like Ozzy Osbourne's like an influence, but what other influences do you have? And then I guess what attracted you to that genre of music?
Yeah, so it's similar to the wrestling thing in a sense. I didn't have like a whole lot of interest in music. Like if something was on the radio, okay, cool. My parents were big music fans and concert goers. And the first concert they ever took me to was in 96. And it was to see Kiss.
Oh,
it was nice. During their reunion tour where they put the makeup back on. And so that was my first concert, and I was just like, what is this? Like, just the whole stage show, the look, the pyrotechnics, blowing stuff up, just everything about it. Like, it was just this huge, larger than life entertainment spectacle. And that, like, right then and there is like, I want to do this. Like, so I kind of, along the same time, I became a fan of wrestling and of music, and I was just like, this is my life, and somehow it stayed my life.
Right.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kiss. So Kiss, that is my influence. Like without Kiss, like so many things in my life, like legitimately would not be what they are. That's just without it, it would not be how it is.
That's so cool. Man, I can't imagine like being able to see Kiss live. That would have blown
for
my
your
mind.
first concert.
That's and then at what, the 11?
Yeah.
Shoot, I think my first concert was in my 20s. Yeah, it was when I went to go watch Gorillaz.
Okay.
Okay.
So good, but like it ain't Kiss.
I mean, Gorillaz still not. I mean, that's still not bad.
Yeah, but still, like I said, it ain't Kiss.
Don't dog on Gorillaz on here now.
I'm not saying. Let's move along.
Fair enough, man. I mean, wow.
A lot of my mentality and how I put, like, what I put, like, my thought and my, I don't know, like, my stage work and stuff into, like, everything stems from, like, those early things. And while it is very important to hone your craft, whatever it is, and be hopefully, the best you can be at it, I still look at everything from an entertainment standpoint. And I think that's kind of what's, in some ways, it's helped me out a lot. I'm not trying to, like, talk highly of myself, but I feel like I give, like, a good presentation. But at the same time, like, I'm not like some virtuoso guitar player either, because I never felt like that was never like an interest to me. So like I play well, but I'm not like this super technical aficionado or whatever either. So it really depends on what it is that you're looking to do. But yeah, everything that I do has come from an entertainment standpoint.
As Palm Blanco off camera it says, you gotta talk your shit.
Yeah, you gotta put your stuff in.
Yeah, you gotta put your stuff. If you're good, you're good. That's all it is.
I guess I did have a question. from your transitioning from music into like wrestling and back and forth. How has it been, since these are two worlds that are very synonymous with one another? How has it been to, is there like a switch in your mind that like flips it on and off when you're between one or the other, or is it just all Billy all the time?
No, I wouldn't say that like I have like a different approach to any of it. I just know when it's time to go out and perform. Like that's just what I'm doing. I don't know. I just do it. You know, I'm not nervous about it. I don't get like pre-show jitters. And you know, there's a thing that says like, you know, a lot of people say like, oh well, if you're not nervous before you go out there, well then you just don't love it, or I'm like, nah. I'm not actually, but I'm kind of insulted by that. Because, like, I don't even know if it's, like, a confidence thing. It's just what I truly love to do, and once it's time to go, I just go. You know, not that, like, every performance is always perfect or anything,
right.
But, yeah,
Gotta just leave it all out there.
Yeah, whether it's going out on stage, like before I'm on stage, like, yeah, I might like, you know, jump around, get like a little worked up or something just to get a little energy flow or something. But, no, once it's time, I guess, yeah, it's go time.
It's go time.
Cool.
Do you have any like ritual? I know you don't get nervous, man, but do you have any like ritual or something that you're like, I have to do this, like to go out to prepare myself to like get in that zone, you know what I'm saying?
I suppose maybe sometimes, like, maybe if I just want to get in a slightly different mindset, like, you know, maybe I'll listen to, you know, some influential bands or something, you know, maybe like a higher energy band or something, or yeah, you know, again, just like an influence that it's just like, okay, like maybe I haven't totally been feeling it, but I want to kind of capture like that attitude and you know, so maybe like sometimes like that, but I wouldn't say it's, you know, it's an always kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Right on.
What is, I guess, put us on some of the songs you guys got. What's one of your favorite songs to perform?
Okay.
I know it's a loaded question, but I want to know.
Or like songs you have fun like performing in front of people, like.
Right. So, I mean, if you go check out Graveyard Smash, the music is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, you know, all the main places. Yeah, just look up Graveyard Smash. The album is called Tonight They Live Again. And so if you go and listen to that, like one of the songs, Evil Ed, is a lot of fun. It's kind of like a take. It's inspired by the movie Fright Night, like, and that's kind of the other thing is it's ghoulish. It's made you know based off of horror films and things like that. That's a fun one. But like, if it's a little easier, so the other thing I haven't really haven't talked about at all is I am in another band currently as well called Secret Weapon, and it's a cover band. Oh, okay. So it's all like 80s songs, whether it's rock or pop. We play everything from AC/DC and Poison and Guns N' Roses to Whitney Houston and Madonna and Cher and you know, kind of everything in between. Just fun, you know, music people can just, you know, that they know. So some like fun songs that people might know that are just oddly a lot of fun to play. Material Girl by Madonna is a lot of fun.
It's a great song.
Safety Dance.
Yes.
Like surprisingly, like there's just something about it. And you know, we will, same thing that I said earlier, like we'll bring like a little edge, a little attitude to it. You know, it is rocked up a little. We are still a rock band. So something about it, like it's fun, and then all of a sudden like it just hits like a higher gear. And it's like one of our most like energetic, like almost like metal songs that you can like bounce to. Like we don't play it metal, but like
Right.
it just has that kind of feeling.
Has that edge.
Yeah.
You can dance if you want to.
You
You're
can
right.
you can dance if you want
Want
to. So yeah, I don't know. Like some stuff like that is a lot of fun to play.
Well, kind of transition into that. Like, so I see the like horror themed tattoos and
Yes.
everything. What's your favorite scary movie?
Well, my favorite horror film, and really just my favorite film in general, is Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects. But like my favorite franchise, my favorite character is Halloween, Michael Myers.
Okay.
The original I love, and Rob Zombie did it too, and I like those as well. And
What is it about the horror movies that like gets you? Like,
I think it's a similar thing to everything else. Like, you know, when I got into horror films, it was like the slasher characters, Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, or if you go back, you know, to Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, all that stuff. Like, it's just these larger than life characters. Like, they have a personality. I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but it's a lot like Kiss, or it's a lot like wrestling in a sense. Like, they had these focal point characters that, you know, even though like they're doing these terrible things, like there's something fun to root for them as well. You know, it's the same thing with comic books or, you know, anything like that. It's just, I don't know, I love most facets of entertainment.
gotcha. Kind of a little bit of everything.
But I suppose, yeah, I will tend to lean like a little more towards like darker kind of things.
I hate to get a little niche with you because you said you
do it.
like the Halloween movies. The only person I really talk to about this is my brother. But so those of you who don't know, Halloween has a couple different parallel storylines.
Yes, I know all about it.
So I guess after the first movie, they go into whatever this new remake, not a remake, but it's a continuation.
So the new one's
The
happening
new
right
one
now.
That's happening right
Yes.
now. It's a different retelling of like years into the future. That's why it's retelling now. Whereas the ones that came out in the other, that was a separate timeline where like you had Busta Rhymes and you had all that
Yeah.
fun stuff. What is your take on the whole way they expanded that universe within the Halloween series?
You know, I'm fine with it. You know, so as you can tell, I can get long-winded and I like to give a lot of context. So if you don't like that, I apologize.
I had to ask. I had to ask.
So I'm gonna try and keep this a shorter version of it, but like the timeline has several
Yeah.
splinters. So you know you have the first, second, the third is always on its own. There's no Michael Myers. That's what the original plan was. Was it was supposed to be every like season of Halloween there was going to be a new thing that happened on Halloween. Well, Michael Myers did so well, the studio's like, give us one more. So they did part 2, and then when they're like, okay, back on track to part 3, and then they're like, well, that movie sucked, which I mean, everything's subjective, but it doesn't. It's a great, like, Halloween-themed movie.
Yeah.
It just isn't a good Michael Myers movie. Anyway, so 3 is always out.
It's
1, 2, 4, 5, 6. That's one timeline.
yeah.
Then, Jamie Lee Curtis wanted to come back. And that's Halloween H2O.
Yes.
So now you have 1 and 2, which she was part of. And you skip everything else and you go to 7 and 8.
Yeah.
That's H2O and then the Buster Rhymes
The Busta
one.
Rhymes one. Does karate.
Yeah, yes. Trick or treat, mother, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're not for kids. You can cuss.
Oh, that's all right. So that was that timeline, and then at a certain point, they're like, okay, maybe this is done.
Yeah.
And then they bring Rob Zombie in. They do his 2 films. Still in a roundabout way, telling the same kind of story. It's Laurie Strode. That's Jamie Lee Curtis's character. They do those 2 movies, and they're like, okay, well, what next? And at that point, and I'm such a fan of it, and I love the Rob Zombie ones as well, but I'm like, you know, I would love to just see Michael Myers go back to just like in that very first movie, it was going to be called like Halloween, like the babysitter murders or killer or something like that. He wasn't like, you later find out he's related to Jamie Lee Curtis. And literally, other than part 3, no matter what timeline, everything was connected to Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, can we just get back to Michael Myers being Michael Myers, not anything specific? Well, Jamie Lee Curtis wants to come back again. Okay. How are they going to do this now? Because now the other movies that she was part of are not non-existent. They're not canon. Nope. And like you said, they even skipped part 2. Mm-hmm. So she's not related to him anymore because she wasn't supposed to. She was just a random babysitter who now is like dealing with the PTSD of it all these years later. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. And for the most part, like, I really liked the first one that came out. Yeah. And the other ones I thought were fine. And there's things that you can say about them, but there's a lot you can say about the entire franchise. But, no, I enjoyed it. But ultimately, I'm like, okay, well, you're still kind of, like, they're not related anymore, but you're still dealing with this Laurie Strode character. Yeah. Which is what all the movies have been about. Even if she wasn't in them, they're about her niece. Or her uncle,
some
or
tie,
whatever.
some tie, yeah.
So, I enjoyed it, but I would really still like to see Michael Myers just go and killing people. Just give me Michael Myers. I don't need any more of this Laurie Strode stuff.
Give Billy his slasher films, damn it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Like, so what is there a more modern like horror movie or slasher that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I think the first one came out in maybe like, what was it, like 2006 or 7 or something like that. It's the Hatchet franchise.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've not watched any of them.
You know, it is a throwback. It's a take on essentially again all those characters. It's just a new one named Victor Crowley. It takes place in Louisiana swamps, and what's cool about it is they bring in like a lot of like the horror icons. So like Tony Todd, who played the Candyman, he's in it. Robert Englund, who was Freddy, he's in one of them. Like if you're like real deep into it like I am, and you know all these, you know, the actors and stuff, you'll see them all popping up. You're like, oh, you know, but like it's still like a fun slasher film. And they've put out like 4 of those. So yeah, as far as like modern slashers, he'd be my favorite.
Okay, cool. I have to watch that. It is, as we record this, it is October. So.
It's true.
Spooky season.
Spooky season.
My favorite.
All right. Well, you got anything else?
I'm all tapped.
Okay. This has been a really fun conversation.
I loved it.
We learned a lot about you and what you do, and we gotta listen to Graveyard Smash. That's
check it out.
Secret Weapon too.
Secret Weapon. But yeah, this has been incredible. We're so happy to have you on here. It's been amazing. We hope you enjoyed like the snacks. We hope you enjoyed the conversation with us.
Yeah, I'm really checking out these pork rinds, but I also don't want to while we're recording. So I was like, I'll wait.
Is there anything else you want to plug? Any other events? Anything you got going on?
No, just if you want to see me, come. As far as wrestling goes, check out PWP Live. Their social media is at PWP Live. Check out Next Level Wrestling, where I'm a manager for Rory Fox. And, check out their socials for where they are. Then, Graveyard Smash or Secret Weapon. If you want to check out any of the music, just check out those social media accounts.
We'll have a link in the description.
Oh, yes.
Cool, thank you. If you want a micro brawler, as public as I am, I also keep my social medias private. So if you want to hit me up, you can, if you find me on Facebook, you can message me there or email Billy Peck microbrawler at gmail.com. They're $20, $8 shipping if you're in the U.S. It's very cool to have one. They were also expensive to make, so if you would like to buy them and support, I'd appreciate it. If not, it's fine. I get it. Yeah.
Are you selling them at PWP?
Yes, I am. I'm selling them there. I'll sell them at Next Level Wrestling, all of that stuff. So, yeah, just hit me up or come out to a wrestling show, and I'll have them there.
Yeah. Then there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Billy Peck by the Micro Brawlers. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Check out Graveyard Smash. Of course, check out PWP, Next Level Wrestling. Follow your boys here at 4.5 Marks. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do you know the outro?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I've listened. I've watched the show, but I guess I don't recall it.
So, outro. If that check bounces, so do you.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, and most importantly,
I'm Billy Peck. Thanks for checking out the 4.5 Marks podcast. Make sure that you do everything they said. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all the stuff. Because they do a great job supporting local independent wrestling. And it's important.
it is.
That is.
Very important to support your local indie scene.
If not, you would jive turkey.
Jive turkey.
And remember, that chick bounces.
So do you.
Okay, bye.